Bang bang to the gang. Welcome to the Faithful Boys podcast. Benjamin, that's good. P Warrior underscore Niner. What's going on with your big bro?
I'm good, man. It's been a minute since we actually did a podcast just talking about football. Well, we did the podcast last week with Johnny there, and so just want to give him props and love, man. He'll be whenever he come on breaking this thing down, giving his analysis. But man, it's been a minute since me and you just jumped on and chopped it up about what's going on with these boys. So as training camp is approaching, man, be ready, be excited. The faithful, is excited about the team, about Trey Lance. So, let's get it in. Let's talk about it. As always, faithful man, subscribe, like, and comment on the channel and what we doing. We're gonna be trying to get some of the heavy hitters on the show that we had on, starting off the season, and some new people to the podcast. Want give love to my always faithful 24/7 family. God willing, I'm gonna be on with them tomorrow. And doing big things with them, and that's about to kick off too. So if y'all ain't on them, get on them too, fam. Always faithful 24/7. Got a shout out to Mark, yes, Jizzle, Uncle Keith, Fred, Troy Pop, number 49. Y'all know I love y'all. And so, like I said, y'all willing, I'm gonna be on with them tomorrow, chopping it up, getting it in. And so, that's about to kick off too. They got some things in the work coming down the pipe. Jump on that channel too on YouTube and see what that's about to be. So it's good to be a favorite right now, dog. That's what it is. So like I said, man, it's good to be back on with you. We about to launch this thing again, about to jump into the deep water. So let's get it in, bro.
Yeah, bro, like you said, it's been a minute. I checked out you and Johnny Dell last week. I think it was a good one. Uh,
Yeah.
Definitely informative. I like Johnny Dell too. He uh
Mm-hmm.
he be on it with the breakdowns.
Yeah.
Shouts out to everybody, man. Especially all 49er fans. We getting ready for another good one. Hopefully we could get a little further than we did last season. Uh
Yeah.
but yeah, we could get right into it, bro. We know training camp coming up next week. Uh I guess most of the talk because a lack of news has been the Trey Lance Jimmy G thing. And
Mm-hmm.
we could kind of get into that. But just early assessments of like some camp battles you kind of looking forward to seeing play out coming up this week.
Well, well, they're gonna have battles for the offensive line. I mean, I guess as far as needed to solidifying that right side, McGlinchey's supposed to be coming back healthy, and you still got Brunskill, but you got Jalen Moore, and then they drafted a bunch of dudes who they, quote unquote term, have that positional flexibility that they like to play multiple positions. You
Prof.
got Aaron supposed to come into that left guard position next to Trent Williams, to replace the Lakeland Thomason. That's a lot to replace, bro, because I love Thomason. The two players that I wish they could have signed if they would have had Jimmy Money would have been Lakeland Thomason and DJ Jones. That's who I felt they should have signed, all the way.
Yeah,
Then,
DJ.
you're gonna yeah, DJ was a beast, bro. So, that's the tool that I think, hopefully Kinlaw can step in and finally he healthy, he motivated, he hungry, and produce up to the first round expectations. And then, you're gonna have Aaron Banks, who they traded up in the second round last year, who didn't play, but by the end of the year was playing special teams to plug into the left guard spot. Now, from all the stuff you heard, he was in football shape. He had lost all of that weight he had in Notre Dame because he was I guess Notre Dame's scheme was more of a power scheme, so he was like maybe 330, 340, whatever the case was. Well, in college you can maul people. In the NFL you can't maul people. You got to be able to have some quickness and some flexibility in addition to the strength. And so, he could never get on the field. And I think he got hurt in training camp, so that kind of set him back. But from all the reports and our accounts, he's healthy and have lost the weight, and everybody have given him a thumbs up. Now, obviously, we ain't gonna know till they put on the pads, and we see what that's about. And I even had mentioned that with Johnny last week. There's got to be that jumping in and getting the pads on. But once the pads come on, he should be good, hopefully. And then you got the slot cornerback position. Me and Mark was texting him on that today. He felt that Darquez Bernard should be the nickel cornerback to replace K1. I was like, no, I think If you're gonna start Charvarius Ward at the outside corner and Emmanuel Mosley at the other corner, then slide Ambry Thomas inside. But Mark was like, well, no, he not got the physicality, to play inside in that position. But I said he got the quickness to play inside. It's not so much that you on some level have to have the you got to have the physicality, but you got to have the feet. Kwan was physical, but he had the feet too. You see what I'm saying? So let's see if
And I know, I know he be hurt a lot, but don't forget you still got Verrett in the mix. So,
true.
barring if Verrett healthy, it give you a lot more flexibility. You could kick E-Man to the slot. It just give you more flexibility. So yeah, don't sleep on Verrett. But go ahead.
Yeah, but no, like I was saying with Ambry Thomas, I think, well, let's see how he do as far as putting on weight and getting the strength. He didn't had a full off season. He was kind of behind the curve coming off the COVID and stuff. It took him almost all the season to get in there. They started him playing special teams to get him ramped up, and then by the end of the season, he was starting because he had, made the jump that they thought was necessary for him to do that. So let's assume that he finished off the season strong. He had the interception in the Rams game. He played solid in the playoffs, even in the NFC Championship game when he was really outmatched. You dealing with Odell Beckham and you dealing with Cooper Kupp. Come on, man, he's all world receivers, but he held his own. And then you seen a lot of plays where he was physical in the one game when he came up and he made tackles. So let's just assume that he didn't put the time in the weight room and got the strength and made the jump in the second year. Why not throw him into the mix? I know they drafted the dual Womack in the draft who they high on as far as the nickel. So they got options. So, and just like you said, they got Verrett too. So they got options in terms of who they could plug in there to see who could be in the mix to ultimately get it. Because like I said, Kwan produced. You know what I'm saying? Kwan produced all the time. So it's going to be some hard shoes to fill just in terms of that. But we know that he did produce. And so whoever they put in there, let it be somebody who, can make those plays. Now, I think Johnny had said when I was talking to him that you should put Jimmy Ward down there in the slot, in certain, matchups, depending on, who it is. And that makes sense. If it's going up against a good tight end or, a shifty receiver and you think he's capable of doing it, then yeah, because we were talking about the nickel pass that they was running, that they could run the possibility too.
I wouldn't be necessarily against Jimmy Ward, I guess, getting down there sometime, but to me that would depend on I guess more to various Mo at the safety, how he coming back, and Hufanga, because we still kind of, to me, suspect at the safety position. So if you take Ward and you make him play the slot, who you got over the top? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and that goes to what me and Johnny was talking about last week. If they go to the 3 safety look, Hufanga ain't got the feet to play in the slot, so we know it ain't gonna be him. To me, the key is Moore, and then they do have George Odom from the Colts. But to me, if Moore come back, Moore got the feet in the range. We just know that he took bad angles at times. But when he had his confidence, he was a short tackler. He was starting to get interceptions and make plays on the ball, and he was in position. The thing with him is just being in position. If he come back off that Achilles, then you could play him in a deep third, let Jimmy come up, and then you could still have Hufanga who have enough range and enough quickness to cover some other areas. And then with the pass rush, they shouldn't be covering too long. So, I mean, if you look at it from that standpoint, yeah. But I agree with you, in terms of Jimmy. Jimmy, we want him covering that third. But I think Hufanga going to take that step because we saw it in a playoff game against Green Bay. He got the touchdown off the block punt. But then he was in that deep third when Aaron Rodgers was trying to get that ball to Devontae Adams on a deep pass, and he was right in position. So let's just assume that his technique is better, his fundamentals is better, and then maybe he didn't pick up a little bit of quickness because you got to figure they done made the jump from that rookie year to the second year. You done had a full all season. You ain't got to go through the draft process and all of that, and all what goes with that. You done had time to get in the weight room. You done had time to look at the film. You done had time to focus on the areas where you need to get. And I think what he'll find is probably his back pedal. Just being, cooking with his feet. And then you got Troy Polamalu, who mentoring you, who was one of the greatest safeties to ever play the position. And on some levels, he kind of like that. But what we know separated Palomalo was he had that range. He could cover from sideline to sideline. That's where if Hufanga going to really take the next step to really become maybe a consistent starting safety, or maybe even a potentially Pro Bowl starting safety, that will be the jump to me. You got to be able to have that range to go from sideline to sideline. Well, we know Jimmy got that range. We know Tavares Moore got that range. Do you have it? Maybe. But I think they drafted him knowing that, he played like that linebacker position, that hybrid linebacker position at
Right.
USC. You know what I'm saying? And he got enough range and enough quickness to play in the box, but then to play the deep third. Because we saw toward the end of the year where they was interchanging him when Todd was hurt. He would come up sometimes and then he would run all the way back and then get in position. And for the most part, he was there. So we know a lot of the coverage is going to be dependent on the rush. Now, if our defensive line is coming like we expected to, these boys shouldn't be covering too long. You know what I'm saying? They should be making more plays on the ball. And now that they got Tavares Ward locking down one side and E-Man being solid on the other side, if that's who they're going to roll out at the corner position, man, that's what killed us in the Ram game. We couldn't cover. It wasn't that the rush wasn't getting there, and then it exposed the fact we couldn't cover man to man. Like Johnny Dale said, that's why they went and got Ward to lock up one side, and then, okay, if he lock up one side, E-Man ain't bad on that other side. He's solid. We know he can make plays on the ball. We know he can tackle. Yeah, so so like I say, if our pass rush is up to snuff, which they got so many defensive linemen, they ain't gonna be able to keep all of them boys, truthfully. But they should have so much depth and rolling people in and out of there, man, that these boys shouldn't have that much time to cover. We should be making more plays on the ball, getting more turnovers, in addition to getting sacks and getting off the field, which gonna lead to the offense being in position. And they done made upgrades in the special teams in terms of, Ray McLeod being a kick return man, being a punt return man. We was dying every time somebody had to go back there if it wasn't Debo trying to,
Ayuk wasn't the answer, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you got Ray McLeod now who can get in there and who can do the punt returning and the kick returning. They bought the special teams coaching from Seattle. Seattle always have had good special teams. So that was an improvement. You know what I'm saying? So Shanahan and them realized, okay, we got to improve the special teams in terms of the return game. They got Ray McLeod who could do it. They probably could put the receiver Gray back there. So they got people who got the speed to be able to do it. So they addressed a lot of the areas where they needed to address. Now it's just all putting it together.
Not real. And you talking about the defensive line and the pass rush. In particular, I'm interested to see how the rookie gonna pan out, Jackson. I'm big on him, and considering the coaching from Kaseric, I would expect him to produce for us at least sometime in the second half of the year after he kind of get his feet up on them a little bit. Also, I guess kind of sticking with the D line. Reports saw that Debo as well as Nick Bosa starting contract negotiations. What do you think as far as Bosa? I heard his brother took a particular route, I guess, of not extending initially, waiting an extra year before extending. Do you think Bosa will, I guess, negotiate and sign this year, or he'll kind of bet on himself, wait the year, and then look to sign next year?
Well, man, if they trying to get this done now, let's say they had the money allocated for Debo and for both. So, you could bet on yourself, but man, you coming off the knee injury where you missed a year and you came back perform. You had 15, 16 sacks, whatever it was, and you was getting triple teams out there. That's why they went and got Jackson. That's why they went and got Torrey. That's why they went and got the boy back that was with us, went to Seattle. You know who I'm talking about. I can't remember his name. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but you know who I'm talking about. So you brought, and then you got the boy they got from Houston in the trade, who gonna have who didn't have a full all season in the system in the scheme. So yeah, they got they got so many defensive ends, it's crazy. Now I agree with you that as far as Jackson is concerned, by the second half of the season, he should be coming to his own. And see, that's the beauty of it. We got so much depth on the line that we ain't got to force you to start. You could come and learn your way and get your reps and be up on game days and get in a rotation. And as you get your confidence and you get the coaching from Kuseric and the other and Daryl Tapp, the other defensive line coach there, then that's just gonna be your confidence. Ultimately a lot of these dudes on 1 year contracts, they drafted you to be the alternative to both. But we ain't got to throw you in the fire right off. We could start you slow, let you build, and by the end of the season, you should be a beast out there. Because if they all stay healthy, man, they're gonna be coming in waves. Even on the interior, they got depth on the interior, on the defensive line, and on the outside. Now, as far as the extension with both, man, look, you're gonna get over $100 million. It's guaranteed. You're one of the top defensive ends in the league. You play the run and the pass. And if, like I said, Jackson produced, and then you getting these rotational guys to make plays, that's gonna fill you up because everybody knows you gotta be triple and double team. No offensive tackle can handle you one-on-one. You too good. So to me, man, if they're gonna offer you the bag right now, take the bag right now. It ain't guaranteed. We knock on wood that he's gonna, we want everybody to make it through the season. So man, if they're gonna send you and give you the money now, then do it. Same thing with Debo. Okay, you've been hollering about the bag. You've been hollering about you want the money, this and that, or whatever. You've seen all the other receivers get paid. They know your value. They know your work. If John Lynch said they had the money allocated, then okay, cool. Go ahead, man. Get your bag. We need you out there. We need you to get that rapport with Trey Lance. To go with IU. To go with my boy, Juwan Jennings. That's my dog. Y'all know that. To get it with Kittle, man. Come on, we got the opportunity to have one of the most explosive offenses in the league. We need you out there. So come on, man. Go ahead and sign, get the bag. Y'all deserving of the bag. Y'all done produced. So all the time y'all been in, even when y'all was hurt. If y'all wasn't hurt, we know y'all would have produced. We know Debo would have produced if he wouldn't have been hurt that year. He was producing before he got hurt. Just couldn't stay healthy. So come on, man. Go ahead and get your money, whatever the case may be, and go from there.
All right. And we definitely gonna hit on Debo. We gonna stay on defense right now, but we about to switch over to the offensive side of the ball. Before we go, Fred Warren, I believe, was voted best linebacker in the league, maybe USA Today, something like that. But I like to talk about his peers, in particular, Alziz. I'm high on him. I like Greenlaw too. No shade to Greenlaw. He was holding us down. I just think LZs have a higher upside, I guess. But I think all of them together, healthy this year, I think they could be, a real good linebacking core. And I think we could have a top 5 defense if they could just figure out the back end. Let's talk about the linebackers, bro. What are you expecting from LZs and Greenlaw? Because we already know what Fred gonna do.
Well, I think, man, we gonna have the best linebacking core in the league. I don't think, man, you ain't gonna be able to get nothing out of the backfield as a running back, and they're gonna be all over you on that run because the beauty of our defensive line, as far as the interior with Armstead, and if Kinlaw comes to the party, Kinlaw eating 2 blockers automatically. That's gonna free up Armstead one-on-one in pass rushing situations. Then they probably got so much depth, they're gonna probably go to some kind of NASCAR package like they did last year, where they had your boy who went to the Jaguars moving inside. They're gonna probably move somebody quick inside.
Hurts.
Hurts, whoever. But to me, Kinlaw is the key as far as a running game, because if you healthy and you that stout and that big and that strong and you that powerful at the point of attack, then it's going to be hard for you to run. See, that's what made DJ Jones so good. DJ Jones not only had the physical size to hold 2 blockers, but he had the feet to get penetration. Now, Kinlaw might not have his feet, but he got the size. All we need to do is tie up 2 blockers to free up everybody else. Aziz, you took a step. You was an undrafted free agent coming off an injury. You was hurt last year, but when you was out there, they felt you out there like Fred said. They going to feel us out there. They felt him out there because he was hitting everything moving. We know Dre Greenlaw is a better cover linebacker as far as coverage because he played the safety at Arkansas. But Aziz bring that pop. But Greenlaw bring it too. And if they all healthy, we know what Fred is. Fred is maybe the best linebacker up there. And these 2 running with him, it's gonna be really hard for anybody to run the ball against us. especially if our defensive line getting that penetration and then they just running sideline to sideline and even in coverage. That's the beauty of it. We could rush forward and we could cover with them, and they're gonna cover a lot of the middle of the field. And I agree with you. If our secondary take that next step, oh my God, it's gonna be really hard to score against them because they got so much talent. So I'm not worrying about the linebackers. Only thing that can really slow us down is the injuries. Not God forbid, hopefully this will be the year where they fully healthy in all levels, and then we can really take that run. Because defensively, man, they got so much talent because of the defensive line, because of the line. The front seven is one of the best in the league. It's the secondary, and I'm not so much worried about the corner because I think Ward gonna elevate, and I think E-Man. We know E-Man style. He's improving. We know Jimmy is there. Okay, it's the other safety position and what's behind them. That's where we gotta figure out. It's not the starters per se. It's what's behind them. Okay, if Jason Verrett, if you could ever say healthy, we know you capable. Diamandola North, is you gonna make the next step? Amber Thomas, is you gonna make the next step? Womack, then they drafted the one guy out of Penn State in the 6th round who looked like he got the size to maybe potentially be something, and whatever other undrafted players they got in there. So it's not the starters per se. Okay, what's behind? Even with Tavares more. Okay, you coming off the Achilles, or you gonna be back on, on track. So if they can get the depth behind the starters solidified in terms of, okay, God forbid somebody get hurt, we could plug you in and we ain't gonna miss too much of a beat, then man, the sky's the limit. Because I think with Ward taking away the best receiver and taking that challenge, then okay, of course you're gonna try to attack E-Man, but E-Man ain't no slouch neither. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe if they figure we weak at the third corner in terms of what they're gonna, in the nickel packages or whatever, then that will be an area that maybe they gotta kind of step up in, that kind of thing. But to me, I don't see where you're gonna have all that time to be throwing like that. That's just my opinion. Because you got Ebukon, you got Teray, you got Jackson, you got Menahue, you got all the interior guys that you have. So man, they coming at you in waves with people. So you could roll 4 out and then roll 4 in, and you shouldn't miss a beat just because these dudes got this talent. So I don't think the secondary is gonna step forward, but a lot of it is gonna be due to the fact that as a quarterback, man, you ain't gonna have that time to really, really get the ball off or get it out before the defense get to you. Because if these boys humming like they're capable of humming like we saw them hum, to the end of the season in the Dallas playoff game and in the Green Bay game, good luck trying to get the ball out your hand quick. You're either gonna be on your back or you're throwing it. You're throwing it before you want to, and then if these boys in position making plays on the ball, they could be getting turnovers. So, like I said, I think they're gonna be straight.
All right, bro. I'm gonna run off a list of names.
All right.
Kittle, Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, Juszczyk, Ray McLeod. You got the rookie with the 4.3 speed. I can't think of his name right now.
Gray, Sonny Gray, I think is his name.
Seemed like to me, and this is not including no running back. These basically all pass catchers.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like this the most weapons we done had since I can remember, bro. We finally have a quarterback who could, make all the throws, all 3 levels of the field. We got the coach who could scheme and game plan for pretty much anybody. I expect the offense to be top 10, even though Trey Lance is a rookie. I know you real big on Jennings, and I know everybody been worried about Debo, but it seemed like to me Trey Lance and Ayuk are building and or have a real good rapport. Talk to me about what you're expecting from Trey Lance and Ayuk, and as well as Kittle possibly being even more of a threat now that they have a quarterback that can really stretch the defense.
Well, that's why everybody is so excited, because we have a quarterback that's capable of stretching the field. Now, Johnny was talking about not so much to the sidelines, but to the middle of the field. That Kyle Shanahan wants to attack to the middle of the field. And I thought, as he was talking about it, I thought back to the time of Matt Schaub, when Matt Schaub was a quarterback in Houston, and he had Andre Johnson. And a lot of those throws was to the middle of the field on those corner posts like Johnny was talking about. Ayuk, I think about to take off, truthfully. I think that he about to go to the next level. Um, Him and Trey been working out all season. You can see all the routes they've been running on air. You know, Shanahan said this the best he done looked since he's been there. Same thing with Juwan, because you know they both were kind of hurt. Well, we know they had the whole doghouse thing with Ayuk last year.
Right.
That kind of thing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know, I don't know. No, I don't think nobody really knew what that was. But at any rate, so they done made the jump. So if you looking at it from that standpoint, I think Ayuk should get 1,000 yards either, because we know that Debo's still gonna be the main threat that people gonna shift to, and I think that's what you're gonna see Ayuk eat, and I think that's what you're gonna see Juwan Jennings eat. Everybody was talking about how at his size he got the shiftiness in the slot. They threw him in the slot on third down. He was a third down man last year. When they needed that play, he made the plays on third down. I think he's gonna take a next step forward too when it goes that 3 wide receiver passes. We know what Debo gonna be. We don't need Debo to be no running back. You got Ray McCloud. You can drafted the dude out of LSU. You got the running backs that they got, Trey Sermon. You got Elijah Mitchell. You got Jeff Wilson. Mitchell. Yeah, you got enough running backs to me. You still got the other little running back, the shifty little running back who I always forget, Hasty. You still got Hasty, yeah, too. So it ain't like you got running backs, but if we just strictly talking pass catching, I think that this is the most pass catching weapons that they've had, just from a pass catching standpoint. And the beautiful thing about Trey is that Trey gonna read the coverages. Trey gonna get the ball to the right man. Now most people scared about the offensive line, giving them the time.
That's why I was going next.
I think they're gonna come out to start the season off with a lot of run-heavy offense. They're gonna feed these running backs to build his confidence. I agree with John. We ain't expecting Trey Lance to throw the ball 40 times. That's not the expectation. The expectation is, like he said, when them shots is over, when Shanahan dial him up, like John was saying, he got to hit him. If he hit him, we killing him. Because you ain't got to throw the ball 40 times to get enough big plays to score points off. And then it's a team game. So the defense giving you field position, short field. And if your special team's giving you field position with Ray McCloud and all of these things, and your coverage units and all of that, then Trey Lance shouldn't have to be going 90 yards. As opposed to, we know there were some games last year where they had to go 90 yards with Jimmy. Now they scored on most of them, which I think it was some kind of statistic that was talking about that. It was like number one when they had to go 90-yard drives and they scored off of them. But you know that ain't gonna be consistent, you know, all the time. So we need a big play. Well, we want the big play. We expecting a big play because of what Trey could do. But what I want to see Trey, and I think what I was trying to talk and ask Johnny was, okay, if it's not the shotgun or off of the boot action or the play action, can he just drop back and make the throws that's necessary if the defense take that away? Now we know Shanahan in most cases gonna scheme some stuff that defense ain't even expecting, and even Johnny had said that he was like he had a suspicion that there was gonna be some wrinkles and some things that we hadn't seen with Trey in there, because we know Shanahan a mastermind, and then he done brought in these new coaches, so we know they got these ideas of how they could do this and do that. But if once the league gets film on him, then he gonna have to make the adjustment, and Shanahan gonna have to make the adjustment. But Shanahan always is pretty much 2 steps ahead anyway. But if we're talking about Kittle should go to the next level, even more so. He should be on Kelsey level, because the beautiful thing when you see Kansas City offense with Mahomes is that because he have the arm to stretch the field, that just makes more space for Travis Kelsey to work. And when they had Tyreek Hill, defenses were scared of him stretching it deep. It opened up everything underneath. Now, if Sonny Gray can be that burner man, or Ayuk and how Shanahan scheme it up with Debo and them boys stretching the field, if he can get that and just the threat of Trey Lance arm, that should open up Kittle more too to get those
Right.
one-on-one. Because we know last year who they was doubling. They was doubling Kittle. They was doubling Debo.
Debo. Yep.
And then defenses knew that Jimmy couldn't stretch the field. Everything was going to be in the middle of the field. He wouldn't go to the sidelines, whether it was vertical or just to the sidelines, just trying to get a completion that way. Everything was in the middle of the field, so it was condensed. Well, it shouldn't be condensed now because of what Trey Lance could do. Even on a run, he should be able to get things on a run throwing in
Right.
addition to the pocket. So now this should open up everything for them in the passing game. So if we talking about Kittle, we talking about Jawan, if we talking about Debo, if we talking about Ayuk, if we talking about Sonny Gray, if we talking about use check, and that's one of the things I asked Johnny, man, what about the screen game using use check? And the bubble screens getting out of his hand quick, getting it to them so where they could get in space and make plays. I think we're gonna see all of that too with the Sonny Gray and with Ray McLeod and all of that. So, and then, I think Johnny even has said with the tight end middle screens, I think now the playbook is wide open because this dude have the ability to hit all areas of the field. And the main thing to me with him is just the accuracy. We just need you to be accurate. Now you supposedly didn't refine your mechanics and all of this. We don't see as a play out, but yeah, man, as far as these boys going to the next level offensively, oh man, they should be on point. Really, they should really be on point because of Trey Lance and the scheme and just that Ayuk and Jawan Jennings had taken the next step. We know Debo already had taken the next step. Kittle had already taken the next step. So now we just need to put it all together. If we put it all together, then man, their offense should be killing people out there. That's what I'm waiting. I want them to kill them out there, dog. That's what I'm looking for. I want these boys to kill them out there because they got the talent to do it.
Well, all off season so far, our biggest news has been Jimmy's still on the team.
Yeah.
All the while, BS about Trey Lance, what he can't do for whatever reason.
Right.
And Debo, the whole Debo fiasco. He wants out. He doesn't want to be a Niner. He's in the club. He's dissing the 49ers. Well, training camp starts in a week, like we said. And Debo he's there. He's around. Like we said, supposedly having some contract negotiations going on. So ultimately, first game of the season, we're expecting Debo to be catching passes from Trey Lance with Ayuk as his sidekick, correct?
Yeah, well, yeah. I think Debo going to be out there. There ain't nothing letting Debo go nowhere. You heard all of this trade stuff for the draft. Certain teams is going to try to do this and do that. They never had no intention of getting rid of Debo or trading Debo. Even if they would have got a top 10 pick, they could have drafted one of the receivers that they had in the first round. But man, come on, how you going to let somebody go who was a second round pick look, Debo outperformed the contract. Everybody know that. That's what I'm saying, man. You deserve the bag, bro. I get it. I ain't for you not get the bag. Get the bag, bro. You was a second round pick. Your first year you had 900 and some yards. The second year you would have had 1,000 yards easy, but you was in and out of the lineup. Last year, man, combined with the running, the receiving, everything you did, man, you was the heart of the team. You wouldn't have did nothing without you out there. So you went to the next level. You went to the Pro Bowl. You became an All-Pro. So you deserve the bag. And I ain't mad at you for coming and doing maybe some of the things you did. Okay, maybe you didn't handle it right, but I understand where you were coming from. It's all part of the negotiation ploys and tactics and all of that. And if John ain't saying that y'all got the money, that they got the money allocated, then okay, negotiate in good faith, man. They're not letting you go nowhere. If that was the case, they would have traded you to get as many picks as they would in the draft. They never had no intention of getting rid of Debo. Debo too valuable to the team because of what he can do. Come on, man. Kyle Shanahan is running a positionless offense out there where he can put you in all of these different positions and maximize your skill set. So why would they let you go? They're going to give you the bag. You're going to get the bag. Now, you might not get you ain't going to get Devontae Adams money because to me, the only thing that I said, if he would have stayed healthy his second year and went over 1,000 yards and back-to-back years, then I could have said, you know what? He deserving to get close to Tyreek Hill money or close to Devontae Adams money. They more proven because they didn't get it longer. It ain't that it ain't that they maybe as talented as Debo. Now, maybe Tyreek Hill is quicker, but ain't nobody more tougher and more physical than Debo. Debo a beast when he
Right.
running you over.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams, you ain't that physical, and Tyreek Hill, you ain't that physical. Debo bring the physicality to it, in addition to the speed and all of that. So to me, you deserving to get in the bag. Like I said, if you would have stayed healthy your second year, you would have been close to getting that bag like they get in the bag. But you still gonna get close to damn near $100 million. And both are gonna get over $100 million because that's what they paying defensive ends.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So y'all gonna get the bag, man. Go in and negotiate in good faith. You know you want to be a part of the team. You know you valuable to it. You know that you could go to the next level now that you got a quarterback that's gonna get you the ball consistently. Both of the touchdowns, these touchdowns that you got was from Trey. Really, it wasn't so much that it was from Jim. It was from
Right.
Trey. The one in the Seattle game, that one he got was from Trey. The one in the Houston game was from Trey. So just think about if you got the rapport, you get the timing down, and you in training camp and so on and so forth. When a regular season come in, we know you're gonna be beating out there because to me, just the threat of you gonna open up Ayuk and see why Ayuk and Jennings start killing them out there, then that just make you more of a threat. Kittle, all of that. So all of y'all should be eating out there. Truth be told, all y'all should be eating out there offensively. So yeah, man, come on, Debo, you there? Come on, man, get your bag. I'm all for you getting your money. You deserve the money, man. You outperform your contract.
All right, bro. Check this out.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Mitchell, Ty Davis Price, Trey Sermon, Jeff Wilson. I think Jermichael Hasty probably gonna be the odd man out. But nevertheless, we'll see how it play out. I think ultimately it's gonna be I'm gonna say a 3-headed monster, really a 2-headed monster. I think Jeff Wilson probably be more of a third down back, kind of more of a situational guy. But who you think gonna be the two? We know it's gonna be Elijah Mitchell. Do you think Trey Sermon gonna, I guess, take that step, and or the scheme gonna be more tailored for him, so he gonna do it a little better? Or do you see Davis Price actually kind of beating him out for that more of that backup role, and it being more of an Elijah Mitchell, Ty Davis Price backfield?
I think people sleeping on Trey Sermon. You've seen the workout videos, and he's been working out with the boy from Minnesota, the running back Dalvin Cook from Minnesota. He realized where he fell short. In a limited time that he played, he showed flashes. I think that was the Green Bay game when they didn't have no running back. He had like 8 carries, almost 90 yards, whatever the case was.
Mm-hmm.
But what people got to realize is that coming from college, he started off at Oklahoma. That was one scheme that he ran. Then he went to Ohio State, which ran a totally different scheme from Oklahoma. Ohio State ran more of a power scheme because Ohio State traditionally have those big athletic offensive linemen who could just maul you in the run game, and the holes in college is twice as big. In the NFL, we know that them holes ain't small. His thing going to that one cut zone read offense is, man, you got to be decisive off the cut. But Johnny shows you in film on his YouTube channel where Elijah Mitchell in the Green Bay game missed a lane. And Elijah Mitchell was hitting the lanes most of the year, and he was a rookie. So you got to give Sermon a chance to prove that, okay, he was a rookie. Yeah, he maybe didn't, on some level do everything that was expected. But Bobby Turner saw potential in him. They drafted him in the 3rd round. So they obviously think he got the ability. So you've seen in the workout videos, you've seen, that you could tell that he in shape. He's catching the ball out of the backfield. He he got to take the next step because they brought in the boy from LSU. Now, I seen the boy at LSU when he ran for the almost 300 yards against Florida. He got the power, and as the game go on, he wear on. So, to me, this thinking that Shanahan would think, it's going to be Elijah Mitchell, I think, start. But I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Wilson be the number 2 because Jeff Wilson know the scheme. He has proven that he can produce, and Shanahan trusts him.
He's a Shanahan guy.
Yeah, and Shanahan gonna put in who he trusts to know gonna make plays. When Jeff Wilson was rolling before he got hurt in that New England game, when they went up to New England and they beat New England, when they had Cam Newton and all of that, that boy ran for 130 yards and it was hitting them holes hard. Jeff Wilson run hard. He a one cut running back. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can block. So
I
while
respect
we
Jeff.
while we looking at Trey Sermon, while we looking at Price, while we looking at them two, why wouldn't it be Jeff Wilson, being the number two? We know that if he would have got hurt, he probably would have been right behind Mostert. If Mostert would have been healthy, Mostert would have been the number one, but I believe Jeff Wilson would have been the number two because he produced, and like I say, Shanahan know he produced. Now, eventually, either Trey Sermon gonna prove he could do it or he not, and they gonna give Davis Price one because you drafted him with that. So to me, I would say, and I don't know how it's gonna shake out, but I would say right now, if I'm thinking like Shanahan thinking, I think it's gonna be Mitchell, and I think it will be Jeff Wilson, and I think depending on how Trey Sermon looks, he could be in the mix for it, and Price could be in the mix for it. Now, on some level, it makes sense that maybe Jeff Wilson will be the third down back. But maybe that's when they go to Ray McLeod, or maybe that's when they go to Juszczyk, or maybe that's when they go, or maybe use Debo in the backfield. We just don't know because we don't know what it's going to look like. And we know in the preseason, they're going to do everything vanilla. Shanahan ain't going to show nothing to the Bears. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to see nothing like we don't see for that first game. So, we ain't going to know till they actually out there playing to see what it's going to be. So, we just going to have to see. But I can see where Wilson could be the two, but then it makes sense on some level that if he's a better pass catching running back and a better blocking running back on third down, he could be in there too. So, time gonna tell with that as well.
All right, bro. I think we got two more, and we're gonna move on, I guess, to the most important position, quarterback, obviously, and we're gonna start from least to greatest. Let's talk Nate Sudfeld. It's no secret that we have been bitten by the injury bug quite a bit over the last couple of years. If that trend continues, one would say that Nate Sudfeld could possibly see the field this year. Especially if Jimmy G is not on the team and everybody is expecting him not to be on the team or hoping and praying that he's not on the team. So that would leave Trey Lance as the starter, Nate Sudfeld as the backup. Getting back to the injury bug, do you think that we should ultimately just roll with Nate, or depending on what happened with Jimmy, should we try to get more experienced backup like a Tyrod Taylor? A lot of speculation and stuff on Tyrod Taylor, and or people figuring he'd be, a great backup for Trey Lance with the Aaron Lynch situation and all of that. So what do you think? Stick with Nate Sudfeld ultimately? Should we kind of look around, or, just hope for the best?
Well, it all is depending on what happens with Jimmy. Now, if they get rid of Jimmy or release him or trade him, then obviously Sudfeld would have to be the backup. God forbid Trey Lance get hurt. I don't know because I never seen Nate Sudfeld play. Now, they're paying him to be a backup. So if they're paying him to be a backup, then they got confidence. But it's one thing to pay somebody, another thing to actually put him out there and see what he can do. So, paying and playing is two different things, bro.
I gotta pay you. I ain't gotta play you.
yeah, exactly, right? So to me, it all is depending on what they do with Jimmy. If they can't trade him, now see, this is the thing. Lynch said that they could carry his salary for the year. So we looking at it from the standpoint of get rid of him because we don't want the looming cloud of darkness over the team and over Trey. But God forbid Trey get hurt. And you know how I feel about Jimmy. I got respect for him. Yeah, you won games, you did this and that. I don't. I know I want Trey in there, but we know he can win games. We ain't got no confidence that they stuff there can win no games. So while we want to get rid of him and we want him to move on and wish him the best, of course. You've been a class act. You always been a class act, even in New England. If God forbid Trey Lance get hurt and Nate Samuel got to come in there, bro, man, I just don't see it. So the catch 22 is if you let Jimmy go and the boy get hurt, then people gonna be like, well, you should have kept Jimmy. And you have people, well, no, we had to get rid of him. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And at the same time, we know that Jimmy can win games if Trey was hurt. Because at the end of the day, we know it's Trey team. But if Jimmy's still there, then like we talked about, I think last week, where's the loyalty lie? Is it lie to Jimmy because Jimmy's proven he can win games, or do we run with the young guy? So we know one injury could derail a whole season at any position, but especially at the quarterback position. That's why I think they're gonna come out running the ball and running it a lot. Shanahan, that's what Shanahan want to do anyway. Shanahan don't want. I mean, Shanahan want to kill you with the passing game, but all that's predicated off of the run. If Shanahan can run the ball 40 times a game and win, he'll do it. He ain't trying to throw it 40 times, but if he's in a position where he don't have no choice, then yeah. So to me, they're gonna start off running the ball to build a boy confidence, and by the end of the year, you'll probably have more of a balance in terms of throw and pass. I think it's gonna be predominantly run heavy, and as he get his confidence and have his little ups and downs or whatever, by the end of the year, which we hope he peaking and we peaking as a team, you're gonna see more of the balance.
All right, bro. Last one before we out the door. Once again, couple names, right?
Yeah.
We got Trevor Lawrence. We have Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, of course, Trey Lance. Out of those 5 quarterbacks, me personally, and we can argue, but I would say that Trey Lance is the smartest out of the bunch. I would say, as far as physical gifts, top 3 out of the 5. To me, everybody talks about what they expect Trey Lance not to be able to do. He's only played so many amount of games. Believe he played the same amount of games as Mac Jones, though I understand different levels, right? But Trevor Lawrence struggled. Golden boy, greatest prospect since whoever. Ain't really light it up. Zach Wilson looked horrible at times. Nobody really, to me, talks about it a lot. Justin Fields, I think, is going to be okay. And Mac Jones, he did his thing. This year, the year of Trey, he's going to get the start. He's going to really get to compete with all these guys. Do you think he'll have a better year than his counterparts, all of which had playing time last year, him having the least amount of time? Do you think he'll have a better year than all of those guys? And what type of stats are you expecting from him? Touchdowns and interceptions.
Well, I mean, you got to realize the biggest debate in the draft, when we traded up to the 3rd pick was, okay, which of the quarterbacks are they going to take? Everybody knew Trevor Lawrence was going to Jacksonville. Everybody, for the most part, knew Zach Wilson was going to go to the Jets.
Correct.
Because of size and because of Mike McDaniel, being the coordinator and all of that, going with him. So they were going to draft Zach Wilson. So the great debate was between Mac Jones, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance. Most people was like, Mac Jones would be the perfect fit because of the quick release and because of the offense that they ran at Alabama, getting the ball to the receiver, so on and so forth. The timing and the accuracy, that was more key in Shanahan's offense. A lot of people like Justin Fields because he had that athleticism in the arm. He could throw off platforms and so on and so forth. and then it was Trey Lance, who a lot of people
Right.
didn't know a lot about, and was like, out of all of the five was the one that had the maybe the most upside, but was the most raw because he hadn't played and then COVID stuff came and everything else. He only played really one full season. Maybe if he would have played 2 seasons, more of his flaws and weaknesses would have been exposed, and maybe he wouldn't have been a top 10 quarterback or whatever. Now, a lot of what is going to happen this year is predicated off the scheme too. You got to realize Chicago got a whole new coaching staff, so that's a new scheme. That's a learning curve for Justin Fields. Jacksonville, same thing. You got Doug Peterson coming from Philly. That's a learning curve for Trevor Lawrence. Zach Wilson, I think, could take the next step because you've been in the same scheme now going in 2 years.
And then
And
it
the
added
game,
some weapons for you.
yeah, and it added weapons, and it got you a better offensive line, and you got better running back. So you should make the jump. So I think Zach Wilson will be better than he was because we know he got the arm talent. He can throw off platforms, so on and so forth. They built up the team around him enough where he should see the production. So I think he'll be fine. Matt Jones, now, New England, they lost McDaniels, Josh McDaniels. Now, they don't know who the hell they got coordinating the offense. We don't know what it's going to look like. But typically, he started off, all the rookies hit a rookie wall, regardless of the position. He played good, then he hit that wall, and then he kind of got strong at the end, and then he got killed in the playoffs by the Bills. But the Bills was on another level. But you got to expect that he's going to make the jump too. He should get stronger. He ain't going to never have the big arm, but he do have the accuracy. He know how to read coverages. So,
right.
And they got weapons there in the wing, and so you figure that he is going to do good. So, to me, out of the five, you would expect him to continue to progress. You figure that Wilson's going to progress, and because of the team that we got around Trey, he should progress. Even though he played the least, he had really outside. Well, New England made the playoffs, so you got to count them as a good team. If you're looking at it from the playoff standpoint, then he benefits from having a playoff team around him, just like Mac Jones do. You see what I'm saying? We know the Jets was trash. We know Jacksonville was trash and Chicago was trash. Now Chicago and Jacksonville and New York, New York out of those three could be better, I think.
Right.
So if you're looking at it from a playoff standpoint, then Trey absolutely benefits from having all of the weapons. That's what I'm saying. That was the beauty of us drafting him. We had Jimmy there. There was no pressure for him to come in and start. There was no pressure for him to have to prove anything. Now, most people feel he had beat Jimmy out. He hurt the hand or the finger, whatever it was. But that's the report you would get, that in practice he was wowing them and was making a read because he do have the mind. It's not just a physical talent that he have. He had the mind as well.
Right.
So if he had the mind and the mental makeup to do it, it's just now about going out there and doing it. Just like Steve Young said in an interview, I think that was this week or last week or whatever it was, I was watching. He was like, now the challenge is for him to go out there and do it consistently. But even Steve Young said he got the makeup to deal with everything that goes into it when you got all of the pressure and the chaos and all of the stuff going on in the game. So to me, he played the 2 games and we saw the potential and the flashes, and he didn't really make mistakes, and some of the mistakes he made was fixable and correctable. So now you had a full off season, you had a full OTAs, you had a full mini camp. You're gonna get all of the reps in training camp. So going into the regular season, man, you should be ready to take these reins and run with it. And like I said, people sleeping on his boy, and that's good. Sleep on him because he's about to come out there and kill. He about to show y'all because the boy got to tip his shoes as the state of California, I'm sure, to show everybody that, you know what, man, I'm here too. He about to show people he here. So that's why we excited. That's why the people are excited. That's why people who wanted him to start from the beginning is excited because of what this boy got the potential to do and be.
Well said there, my brother, and we are definitely looking forward to seeing it. Once again, we'd like to thank all of y'all for tuning in, rocking with us. Faithful Boys Podcast. This is season 2. Uh, Myself, I am Benjamin. That's good. That's my big brother over there, P Warrior _Niner. Before we get out of here, uh, like to send a special shouts out to all of y'all who've been supporting us. It's been a journey and a fun one at that, but we move and it's real good. Shouts out to the always faithful crew. Appreciate y'all when I came on that rocking with y'all. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate y'all holding on, my brother. Uh, and just continue to support, like, share, subscribe. Hit us up at RoundsTV. Hit us up at the Faithful Boys on Facebook. Interact with us. Chop it up. And we look forward to, just building with y'all throughout the year, giving y'all our perspective. We're gonna have some nice guests coming on, some that y'all know, some that y'all will get to know. But just keep rocking with us, and that's it, man. Like I say, bang bang to the gang. And once again, for P Warrior _9 and myself, Benjamin, that's good. We out the door,
Peace.
y'all.